popping on YouTube? It's your boy here once again. Welcome back to another episode of DFS Zone, your source for daily fantasy sport lineup advice for the NFL, NBA, WNBA, and some MLB. And before I continue, like always, guys, man, I appreciate you guys smash that like button. And if you have not subscribed yet to the channel, please do so down below. And do not forget to turn on your notifications. This way, you won't miss any of my new uploads. With that all being said, today is Tuesday, July the 10th, 2018. We have a two-game slate in the WNBA. We have Phoenix at Dallas, and Las Vegas is out to visit Chicago. Both teams have played each other two times already. All right, so first things first, Phoenix and Dallas. Implied totals we have for this game is 168, with Dallas at home favored by 1.5. All right. Both teams have played each other twice already this season, and Phoenix has won both games. They won game one, 86-78, something to remember here. And game two, they pulled it out 75-72 in Dallas. When we go over the team statistics right now, that is very important for everybody to always take a look at prior to making lineups. We have Dallas is third in the league in scoring at 86.3 points per game. They are 7th in field goal percentage at 44.2%, shooting from the floor. They're 11th in three-point shooting at 31.2%. Really, really not good three-point shooting team. Second in rebounding at 36.7 rebounds per game. They are 9th in assists at 17.4 assists per game. Last in steals at 6.1 steals per game. Third in blocks at 4.9. They have points per game given up to guards. They are 7th in the middle of the pack at 32.7 points per game, and second in points per game given up to forwards and centers at 44.1 points per game. Something else to remember here, Dallas, I always look at their last several games at home. Dallas at home in their last 5 games are 3-2 with a average of 89.4 points per game scoring, and their opponents are scoring at a clip of 78.6 points per game. They're actually doing fairly well, even though they are 3-2 in their last 5 games, with a positive 11 there as far as points to opponents' points. When we come over to the other side, Phoenix, man, they are 5th in the league in scoring at 83.2 points per game, 3rd in field goal percentage at 45.2%. They are 4th in three-point shooting at 35.8%, 10th in rebounding at 32.2. They've really been struggling with the rebounding up front. Definitely miss Sancho Little. They are 2nd in assists at 20.4 assists per game, 10th in steals at 6.4, 1st in blocks at 5.4. As I said before, Dallas was 3rd at 4.9. Pretty much both teams at around that 5 block per game. So definitely something to consider there. Points per game given up to guards, Phoenix is at 6th in the league at 32.3 points per game, and 6th in the league in points per game given up to forwards and centers at 47.1 points per game. Phoenix, on the other hand, on the road in their last 5 road games are 3-2 with an average of averaging 84 points per game on the nose, and their opponents the same as Dallas at 78.6. So definitely all this is stuff to keep in mind here, guys. All right, we go over to the game itself. We got the guards here up front. I mean, today is definitely, to me, a good game, a good slate in these two games where you can actually favor the stud guards over the stud forwards, in my opinion. You know, definitely games both. Another thing also, another notable tip here is both of these games, you can get some good quality players from both games, but at the same time, you can also go, if you can make multiple lineups, I definitely highly recommend you do a stacking of both games. So both games are 2 very good games that you can game stack from. You can get 4 to 5 quality players from each game, so you definitely can stack the games. I know I will. So I just wanted to give that, let you guys know that that's something that if you're doing more than one lineup, you definitely should consider today. All right, we start at the top. Skylar Diggins-Smith, 8,100. Pretty much you need about 40 from her. She's averaging 36.4. I like her here today. I mean, I do. I may have a little bit of Skylar Diggins-Smith or maybe even Diana Taurasi. They're the top 2 dogs pretty much, I think, in the slate, and they are. You know, I think either one of these two, you cannot go wrong. I mean, I'm not going to go too much in detail. Skylar Diggins-Smith, like I said, you need 40. She has been averaging. Let's see what her averaging is. She has been averaging, she put a 50 spot in the last game. She hasn't hit quite 40, only once, twice pretty much here. So 3 out of the last 5 games, she's been around 40 with that 150 spot. So I think she's in a good spot here. Not only that, she has had a 30 spot against Phoenix the first time around. Let's take a look at her again. Okay, Phoenix, here we go. 29.8, so pretty much a 30 spot, and then the first time around she put up a 30, pretty much a 39 spot. So 39 in 36 minutes, and then doing it again 38 and 30 is not that bad. You know, she's in a matchup, you know, it's they kind of balance out, the teams are kind of balance out. So I think both girls, I think they either Diggins Smith, it's just a matter of which one you choose. You can go with either one of the two and you should be okay. I am not at all opposed to having any one of these two ladies on my lineup today if I'm going to pay up in that 8,000 range. All right, so Diggins Smith is definitely in play, and if you don't want her, save $100 and put the $100 somewhere else, and then you get yourself Diana Taurasi. All right, Diana Taurasi in E40 as well, and she's hit 40 once, twice, 3, 4 out of the last like 6-7 games. She did have a little downer here, 22.7 fantasy points, but she's scoring 19 points right from the floor, 25, 25, 27. In the last few times out against Dallas, she put a 26 spot pretty much here in the last game in that 75-72 win. And in the first game, she put up a 30, pretty much a 35 spot in 32 minutes. That's more than 1 fantasy point per minute. And you know she averages nearly 1 fantasy point per minute throughout the course of the season. So she is a solid play for FPPMs as well. Diana Taurasi is in play, guys, hands down. So it's just a matter of which one of these girls are going to have the better game. Is it going to be Diggins Smith or Diana Taurasi? It's your choice. Dawana Bonner, you could come down and spend $600 cheaper, $700 cheaper, and take Dawana Bonner. I think Dawana Bonner is in play. If you want to play her, I think she's a solid play. I just feel that Taurasi and Smith are the better plays. I'd rather pay up all the way because Ms. Bonner hasn't been consistently putting over 30, at least from when I last looked. You know, she's been here 30, 32, 39, 34, and 28. At this price, you need about 36, 37, and she's not doing 36, 37 consistently, but she did have 3 out of the last 4 games at 32 plus, so she is very, very close to value. And she may, she may be close to value. Let's see what she did in the last 2 games real quickly against Dallas. 34 minutes, 27 fantasy points, and the first time around a 52 spot. So you can take that into consideration that the first game of the season she just exploded and just beat up on Dallas and put up a 52 spot with 17 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 3 blocks. So when you do that, when you do all those defensive dirty things, all that extra stuff, filling up the stat sheet, you always will have a chance to put up some big fantasy numbers. So yeah, she's in play if you want to spend $600 cheaper than Taurasi. We move down here, not too much more in the bottom here. Brianne January came back from an injury. She's slowly but surely getting her minutes, but I'm not on her. I mean, 4,500, you know, you need 22, 23 from her, and she's not going to average that right away. I mean, she hasn't even done that in the 3 games that she has played. A 15, 24, and 16 minutes, not enough for me. And then, of course, the fantasy points are really low. Miss Turner has been getting most of the bulk of the work during the course of the time that she was out. But as you can see, there's been a reduction in minutes by 1 here, and then by 6, pretty much 7 here in the last game against Atlanta. So very, very dangerous position here for anyone to take Miss Turner today. At 4,400, you need 20. You need pretty much 22, and I don't know if she can get you there. She's probably going to get still 14 to 16, 17 minutes, maybe as much as 18 minutes, unless she re-aggravates her ankle. You know, there's a possibility she could get more. It's very, very tricky. I'd rather not play any one of these 2 girls today, in my opinion, because of the price. And go with somebody that more than likely is going to definitely get some time, and that's Alicia Gray. If you're going to choose anybody in this game, then definitely Alicia Gray will be someone that will be solid. 4,200, you need pretty much 21, and she's had 21 in 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the last 6 games, and I'm satisfied with that. And she gets minutes. She is playing, and I said this several videos back. At this time of year, you really want to try to aim for those players that are consistently a part of the rotation. If all possible, the majority of your lineups should consist of those players, and of course players that, for me, 20 minutes or better. If I'm going to choose anybody under 20 minutes, it's definitely somebody that has great GPP potential, has tremendous upside in minimal minutes. So there definitely have to be a big FPPM play, someone who can definitely give me one or more fantasy points per minute for that lower price, or for that minimal amount of minutes on the floor. That's the only way I would consider that actual player. But Alicia Gray here is in a solid spot. I think she's definitely a fine play here. Other than her, you could possibly go with Lalani Mitchell. 3,600, you need pretty much 15, 16, and she's at 1, 2, 2, pretty much 3. I would say 3 out of the last, or 4 out of the last 5 or 6 games. She's been near that. She definitely has been getting sufficient enough minutes. She had 22 and 18 in the last 2 games, so it's someone you can consider as a cheap value play. I don't know if she's going to get a whole lot. And then the only other person you can consider is Kayla Davis. At 3,200, to me, right that price, I really only need 13 or 14, and she is able to get you 12 here. It's just the minutes. I mean, 19 minutes is good here. Could have possibly put more fantasy points here. But in the games, let's see what she did in Phoenix. She played 32 minutes in the last game against Phoenix, only put up 10 spots. So, yeah, I don't know. Definitely not. At least for me, not. I just figure, hey, you know what, 3,200, you can take a gamble. But a 2-game slate, definitely, I think, man, paying up for the guards today is definitely the way to go today. All right, we go over to the forwards. In this matchup, Brittany Griner, definitely like Brittany Griner. Of course, who doesn't? 8,600. You need about 43 from her, and she's averaging 40, pretty much 40 and a half. Excuse me. Hasn't hit 40 in the last few games, as you can see, at 37 and 34 against Atlanta and Connecticut. But she did have a 48 spot here, 45 spot, 42, 41. So she's good for 41 plus. And as long as she can get you 41 plus, and of course she has 50-point upside, she definitely is someone you can consider here. And then, of course, both teams are pretty much a respectable up front. Dallas is actually second in the league in minimizing points to forwards and centers with only 44, pretty much 44 points a game. So she's in a tough matchup. Tough for Brittany Griner simply is because she doesn't have Miss Little. She's going to have to definitely get help from Camille Little, but she doesn't have Sancho. Sancho Little definitely is a big blow for Phoenix up front. So I definitely favor the front court of Dallas in this matchup with Liz Cambage. I would probably prefer her out of the big men. Like I said today, we're going to click on it real quickly. These are your top dogs today. The only 3-8K are Cambage, Wilson, and Griner. And I really like Wilson and Cambage way more than Griner, just simply because of the matchup. Cambage, we'll go back to that game, $8,300, $300 cheaper. I would rather take a chance with her, who could possibly give me 55 plus. 39, 24 in the last 2 games, and a 24. So 3 out of the last 4 games, she hasn't hit value. All right. I mean, pretty much this game she hit value. My fault. 2 out of the last 4 games she hasn't hit value with the 24 spot here. Then of course this game here was a blowout. They didn't play her a whole lot. So 24 there. And that's no, this is the game that she got poked in the eye. My fault. I remember right now. So 24 and 24. So 2 out of the last 4 games, not too bad, but we know she has 60-point upside. 64 here, 60 here. She has done it. 50. She's had massive games. And the 2 games against Dallas, against Phoenix, she put up 23 minutes here and put up 17, and then the first time around 35 minutes and she put up 40, more than 1 fantasy point per minute. So definitely for me, Liz Cambage is someone to consider, especially that she has front court help in Glory Johnson and Azura Stevens, who's really coming along, and Kayla Thornton. So that front court, just look at it, just looking at here, you can see that Griner all of a sudden is just nothing. Dallas. No help, but a good. So we go down. I'm not on Glory Johnson. I mean, she's not one of my favorite plays. I mean, she's still at that price, and she hasn't been hitting 30 consistently for me. As you can see, she's still at 19 fantasy points per game. She's played enough games already. So it's not, she's more of a 20 to 23, 24 fantasy points per game, even though she's getting 24, sometimes as much as 30 minutes. I'm just not on Glory Johnson. Azura Stevens, the rook, definitely someone you can consider. She's been playing fairly well. You need at that price, you need about 25. And she has been putting 25 once, twice, was close here too. So 2 out of the last 3 games, or pretty much the last 3 games, she's been at 23 plus. So it's very, very close. She's been averaging more than her fantasy points per game. So what that means is that slowly but surely, the longer she continues to put up 22, 20, her fantasy points per game are going to increase. So she is at 17.5. I look at that first. That's a little tip. Always look at to see if she's averaging at least close to her fantasy points per game, and then see what she's done over the course of the last 4 or 5 games. And then you'll have a better understanding, is she moving up the ladder here, so to speak, or not. So 25, 37, 23, the minutes are there. I mean, 19 minutes and put up 26 fantasy points is spectacular. 17 here and put up 23. That's more than a fantasy point per minute. So she's definitely a nice FPPM play over the course of the last 3 games. So I definitely like her here. Azura Stevens at 5,100 you should definitely consider her in some of your lineups. Kayla Thornton, someone you can consider too. I think I favor Ms. Stevens a little bit more now over the last few games, and she only put a 10 spot here in a 6, 20 minutes to 31 minutes. You could take a dive on her. She is capable of giving you 30, 32. I just like the way Ms. Stevens has been playing a little bit better as of late, and she's also seems to be more part of the rotation and more part of the offense. They are looking for her on the floor for her to make plays, and she has definitely been doing that. So Ms. Azura Stevens is in play. Other than that, man, I mean, Thornton is someone you can consider $100 here. I'm not a Miss Powers. Come down here, Camille Little. I mean, she's a nice value play. 3,300. You pretty much need 14 or 15. If she's getting 14 or 15 minutes or better, she is getting that. 23, 20, and 21 over the course of 3 of the last 4 games. She put up definitely close to a 20 spot here in nearly 21. And in 21 minutes, she nearly put up a 20 spot. So not too bad in her last game against Atlanta, which is really a decent team up front. 10, 9. Yeah, she's someone you can consider, man. She could be a little sneaky play here. Camille Little. Other than that, I would consider also Angel Robinson at 3,100. To me, that you'll need about 13 pretty much there, and she's put 13 or better in 2 straight games, 22 and 20 minutes respectively. Look at the rebounds, 10 and 8. If she continues to do that, she'll be just fine. 20 and 14. So Angel Robinson is someone that you should definitely consider as well. So, I mean, if you want a value play here in this matchup, definitely Little and Robinson are definitely 2 that you can consider. We go to the Vegas game versus Chicago. These teams as well has played each other twice. Las Vegas won the last game 94-90, and Chicago won game 1 at Chicago 95-90. So both teams are playing in a very high. Both games were very, very close, and they were also high scoring. So something to consider here. Implied totals for this game 174.5 points. Even Vegas knows this is going to be a high scoring game. They got Chicago favorite at home by 4. When we move at the statistics here, the teams, Chicago is 7th in the league in scoring at 81.3 points per game. They're 8th in field goal percentage at 43.5%. First in three-point shooting, okay, at 37.3% from 3. 7th in rebounding at 33.7 rebounds per game. They're 4th in assists at 19.9. So they definitely get the players involved. A lot of passing in this team. 8th in steals at 6.6 steals per game. 6th in blocks at 3.9 blocks per game. They are 10th in points per game given up to guards, so they're definitely in the bottom still in that area. Definitely somewhere to target at. 33.8 points per game given up to guards, and they're 11th, second to last in the league in points given up to forwards and centers to 52.4 points per game. Chicago at home over the course of the last 5 games is also 3-2, and they've been averaging 87.6 points per game during the course of that span. And their opponents are scoring at an average of 84.2 points per game, so that's only by 3 at home. So definitely the opponents have come in there and given them a really, really tough go. So definitely Vegas is going to be up there, and they're going to give them a tough time. That's what you can take out of that. As far as Vegas is 6th in the league in scoring at 82 points per game. They're 9th in field goal percentage at 43.4%. 5th in three-point shooting at 35.8%, pretty much 36%. 4th in rebounds at 36 rebounds per game. 3rd in assists at 20 assists per game. So both teams are very, very good up front with the guards and with the passing. 9th in steals at 6.5 steals per game. They're 4th in blocks at 4.2. They are 11th. Both teams have definitely struggled in both areas as far as defending guards and defending forwards. So definitely a great game to target for a game stack. 11th in points per game given up to guards to 35 points per game, and they're 9th in points per game given up to forwards and centers at 51.3 points per game. So both teams are way up there. definitely areas to target. So we go to guards. We go over to the game itself. Courtney Vandersloot, 7,800. You need 38. She's averaging 28.5. I am not on Courtney Vandersloot in this game. I'd rather save the 800. I'd rather save, what is it, $900? I'd rather save $900 and pay up for Kayla McBride. Okay, she's averaging pretty much around the same fantasy points per game, but McBride is a very, very big part of this offense. She has put up 40 plus in 1, 2, 3 out of the last 5 games. All right, first time out against Las Vegas. The last game out against Las Vegas, she put up a 20, pretty much a 28 spot in 35 minutes, and in the first game against Vegas, let's see here. First game against Vegas, she put up 28 in 30 minutes, so nearly 1 fantasy point per minute in both games. So I mean, yeah, man, I you know, you guys know I love McBride. So Kayla McBride is definitely in play, guys. For me, I'd rather pay down and get McBride as opposed to Vandersloot. Other than that, if you don't want to get McBride, you could save $400. Allie Quigley would not be a bad play either. All right. Allie Quigley has put 6 out of her last 7 games. She's put at least a 23 spot up, and that's pretty much what she's averaging. She put a 36 spot in this game here, 30, 30, 35. So 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the last 6 games, 30 plus. And at 6,500, you need about 32, 33. So she's close to that value. The only thing is, what this basically is telling me is obviously that her fantasy points per game have been going slightly up, slowly but surely, with these 30 plus games. Okay, she wasn't getting that early on here when she started, as you can see, 17, 10, 22, 21. All of a sudden, bam, 35, 30, 31, and now 36. So 4 out of the last 6 games at 30 plus. She's definitely someone you can consider today. I'm not on Diamond. The Shields price is getting a little up. She's at 6,200. So you need 31, 32 from her, and she's averaging 23. She's definitely getting to 23, 25 here, 35, 26, 40. So 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the last 6 games, she's at least at 23 plus. But she's only hit the value point of 6,200, which is about 31, 32. She's only hit that once here and once here. So 2 out of the last 6, 7 games. All right, the minutes are great. She's getting the minutes. Is she capable of getting 30 plus? Yes, absolutely. She wouldn't be at this price if she couldn't be. She wasn't able to. So, and she already has done it here, and she did 40 here. So she's able to get it. She's capable of getting it done. It's just, for me, it's just, I don't know, not enough consistency. Let's take a look here real quickly to see how she's done, how she's fared against Vegas. The last game against Vegas, she only put up 20 in 32 minutes. And then the game before that, she did very well. 34 minutes, she put up 37 fantasy points, 25 points from the floor. So she needs to get to that. She needs to get to that. If she can get to that, she'll be fine. Remember, that was the 4th or 5th game of the season. So Chicago is definitely playing better as a team. So is Vegas. So that's probably one of the reasons why the last game, the Shields didn't have the monster game she had in game 1. All right. So I don't know. At 6,200, I kind of like more of the stud plays. McBride, and like I said, I like Taurasi and Diggins Smith in the other games. So I'd rather pay up on 1 or 2 guards today. I think the guards are the best play, and then maybe to get the last guard as a value play, and then maybe focus on the forward switch. A couple of big girls that are pretty good. All right. Tamara Young. Tamara Young is someone you can consider here. 5,400. You need about 27, and she's hit 27, 32 plus in 2 out of the last 3 games. So I kind of like what she's done there, and she put up against Chicago the last time out of 32 in 31 minutes. So definitely someone very sneaky. She did play some defense, and that's what she needs to do. That was her best game of the year in steals. 4 steals. I don't know if she's going to be able to repeat that, but she is capable of getting you the 27, in this matchup. Knowing that both teams really struggle up front with guards as far as giving up points. I mean, she is definitely someone you can consider there. I'd rather play Tamara Young, to be totally honest with you, than taking a chance with the Shields today. I don't know. It's just my feeling. I'd rather save the $800. So if you want to go that route, definitely Tamara Young, I think, is someone that can play. You could also go with KP here with Kelsey Plum. I kind of like Tamara a little bit more in this game, but she did put up a 31 spot in 33 minutes in the last game against Connecticut, but she only put up 14, pretty much a 15 spot against Chicago the first time around. And then the last time before that, she only played 16 minutes and she got 14 fantasy points, which is close, close pretty much to 1 fantasy point per minute, but not enough minutes and enough there. So I think Tamara Young and Kayla McBride, if you're thinking Vegas here, I think those are not bad plays. If you choose any one of the two, I think you'll be okay. And when it comes to Chicago, maybe Quigley, okay, would not be a bad play. We go down. I'm not on Gabby Williams today. Miss Jefferson may be someone to consider for Vegas. She came back and she's starting to get things going here. She did have 11 minutes, 15, so slowly but surely they're putting up the minutes. And as you can see, 17 minutes in the last game against Connecticut, a pretty decent backcourt for Connecticut, probably one of the tops in the league. And she put up 16.5, nearly 1 fantasy point per minute in 17 minutes. So not bad. Someone to consider there if you want a value play at 3,500. That is not bad. You need 15, 16, and obviously she can get you there. She already has done that. I'm not on anybody else here. Yeah, Kayla Cooper, she's been getting some minutes. She gets about 11 or 12 minutes, I think, a game. I mean, yeah. She's had some moments. 11 minutes in the last game, put up a whopping 17 fantasy points per minute. That's more than 1 fantasy point per minute, but I'm just not on her. She can be a play there, someone you can consider. When you go up here now to the forwards, Asia Wilson, definitely I am in play. I love Asia Wilson. 8,500. Definitely someone you can consider to put up 350 spots in 4 games. And she had a massive 64-point game here against Dallas. She put 54, pretty much 55 against Chicago the first time around, the last game. And then the first time around, she put up 32 fantasy points in 21 minutes. I don't know. Yeah, this is the Cambage, Asia Wilson night, I think, to me. In this matchup. Now, if you wanted to go down, this is not a bad play. So Asia Wilson, guys, definitely in play, man. She's one of the top scorers in the league all around. She's number 1 draft pick, for those who don't know. She has been playing like a number 1 draft pick. She's the future of this team. The Vegas team is really, really starting to pick it up right now as a unit, and it starts with Asia Wilson and Kayla McBride. So if you're going to target this game, you definitely got to have some Asia in your team, and you definitely got to have some Kayla. For the Chicago end, man, Stephanie Dawson, she dropped down $300 or $400, I think, from the last game or two. At least from, I don't know what she was priced in the last game or two, because I didn't play over the weekend. But the last time I seen her play, yeah, she was, I don't know what her price is. Obviously, I don't show it here on FanDuel, but she has been struggling here. 29 minutes, only put up 1.2 fantasy points against Minnesota. Wow. And then 30 here and 17. So, but I think she has 30, as you can see, she has 30 plus potential here. 56, you only need 25, you need about 27 fantasy points. She could smash that, man. She could be a very sneaky play here at 5,600. So I definitely like her here in this match. I'm knowing that Vegas has their trouble with the girls up front as well. And if it's not going to be Dawson, definitely Cheyenne Parker. I know she's been playing very well. She's at 5,000. You need 25. And, man, she's 33 and 23 over the last 2 games. Only 22, 23 minutes. If she continues to get 20 to 23 or 20 to 25, she can get you, as you can see, anywhere between 23 and 33 fantasy points. And against Vegas, she put up 33 spot in 23 minutes with 10, 9, 1, and 4 blocks. She really blocked her butt off that game. Wow. So Cheyenne Parker, definitely someone in play here. You can go with 1 or 2. You can go with a Wilson and a Cambage, and then come over here and take Dawson and Parker, and you got yourself your front court. One of these 2 girls is going to go off, and I wouldn't be surprised if both girls have nice balanced games here. That could be very much possible. I am not on anybody else here, man. To be totally honest, I don't like anybody else here. Hamby has been like off and on, and she's been more off than on. Miss Park doesn't play sufficient enough minutes for me, and I just don't see him. Maybe Elena Coates. She may be someone to consider here, guys. Maybe a very sneaky value play at 12, 8, 14. She put 15 here in 14 minutes. She put 11 here in pretty much in 12 minutes. Almost 1 fantasy point per minute in 2 out of the last 3 games, and you basically need 13 or 14 from her. And it looks like she can get you there. If she can get a little bit more minutes, that would not be too bad. So she may be a little sneaky play. I mean, I'm not on her, but I figured she's a notable, worthy mention here for some of you who want to save some money. But I think you have enough here in the Vegas game and the Phoenix game to be able to do game stacks in both games. Do a game stack with the Phoenix, game stack with Vegas and Chicago. And I think that today, me personally, guys, I'm going to show you right here. On Fantasy Cruncher, these are the guards that I'm looking at. I made a 39 player pool for today for the entire 2 games, and I've narrowed it down to 19 players. So I've cut off 20 players, and these are the guards that I'm considering in my own lineups today. Jefferson, Gray, Turner, Plum, Young, Quigley, McBride, Bonner, Taurasi, and Diggins Smith. Those are my top plays. And if I'm going to go by salary, I'm going to go Diggins Smith, Taurasi are the top dogs. I told you I would take probably one of the 2. If I can get both of them in there, I may do that. I have to work the numbers. But, I mean, you can go with a lineup with Smith and Taurasi. Or you go one or the other. And then you got Bonner, McBride. I like McBride a little bit more. Then you got Quigley, Young. I like Young a little bit more than Quigley, but then Quigley would not be a bad play. I already told you that at 6,500. And then on the lower end, the Valley plays, man, Miss Gray is in a good spot at 4,200, and maybe even Miss Jefferson at 3,500. You know, that's what I'm looking at. Forwards, Griner, Wilson. Definitely love Wilson and Cambage the most here on the top forwards. And then if you want a nice little play here, I think Dawson will be in a nice spot here at 5,600. Azura Stevens at 5,100 is a nice play, and even Cheyenne Parker. On the lower end, Camille Little and Angel Robinson for Phoenix. They're both $3,300 and $3,100 respectively. I think those can be very sneaky value plays. Those will be my value plays for today as far as forwards. When we look at the game's FPPM plays in the Vegas-Chicago game, we'll go back over here to FanDuel real quickly. Asia Wilson, 1.32 fantasy points per minute projected for today. And I think she's going to get that done. She's going to be at least close to that. So she's of that nice FPPM play. McBride is at 0.82 for the guards. When you go to Chicago, Cheyenne Parker, 1.01. They're projecting 1 fantasy point per minute from her today. And I think she has a shot at it. Then you got Miss Dawson at 0.89, pretty much 0.90. And then you have Miss Quigley at 0.81. All right. When you think of Phoenix, the Phoenix game with Dallas, FPPM plays, best play is Cambage at 1.37 fantasy points per minute. We got Diggins Smith at 1 fantasy point per minute. Azura Stevens is at 0.93 and Alicia Gray at 0.81. So you got 4 Dallas FPPM plays that are pretty solid, guys. Pretty solid. FPPM plays for Phoenix, just Griner and Taurasi. Griner at 1.20 and Taurasi at 0.96. And Taurasi is pretty much a regular 0.94 to 0.96 FPPM play. So definitely she is someone to consider when you're looking at that. So that's basically it, guys. So this is my pool. These are my forwards. These are my guards. So you can always pause the video and take a look at them, and then you can just narrow it down from there. And then, of course, I basically gave you what I think are the best possible plays, man. You know, good luck in doing your lineups. I'm glad to be back. I'm hoping to hopefully, you know, take something down here today or the next day or so. I'm really going to get working on this and see if I can make some nice lineups. And again, man, good luck with the lineups, man. Good luck tonight. Make some money. And I'll be back with another video tomorrow, man. You know, you're